All right. We are gonna now actually make those algorithms that we just looked at in the previous video. That essentially for each set of 5 questions will count how many no's there are. And then based on how many no's there are, they'll tell you which alignment you are. So we'll get started. I'm going to share this file with you. When you get it, it might look a little different. That's okay. But what I want you to do at the very start, you'll see my name and you'll see the name of the project. If you just click that and say, you may not see it, but if you hit the ... and choose fork, that means you can fork the project, which means you can create your own copy that you can edit without editing mine. So you can create your own branch, basically like a fork in the road, where there are 2 branches after that. One will be mine and one will be yours. Go ahead and fork the project, and I'm going to call it example. You can call it whatever. You don't even have to change the name. It'll just change this to your name instead of mine. So you will then be the owner of that copy that you've made, that fork. All right. Once you get into here, you will see an HTML file, index.html. You can ignore that. I just want to sort of go over the basic coding of those algorithms. Everything else you don't need to worry about. There is the style.css file. You can ignore that. And then there's the script file, which already has some starter script in it. Most of that you don't need to worry about. It controls what it does already. You're going to come in here and change what's down here on line 90 and 92, 91, 92, 93. So I'll show you what it does right now. If you go ahead and hit, now yours will look a little different, but if you go ahead and hit run, you can see the project and you can see these buttons, and it loads the first question from the chaotic questions. Now if you don't want to see the files, you can click the little file button here. If you want to change the color or the theme, if you hit the little gear, you can change that. And the font size, I have mine on huge so you can see it more easily, but that's up to you. Otherwise you can collapse it so you have more screen space. Alright, so I'm in the script file, and when I run it, there are these questions where I have the text in here. These are arrays. You see the square bracket, and each question text is a string with the quotes. Then a comma separates each one, and there's 5 of each, and I just kind of made these up. And there's 5 questions for the other dimension too. So are you chaotic or lawful? And these, if you answer yes to these questions, you're lawful. So a sign says do not enter. Do you enter? Well, I guess I should put it the other way. Sign says do you enter? Do you obey the sign? I guess I should say. So if you say yes, you follow the rules. Otherwise, it says do not enter, but no one is around. Alright, if you say yes, you follow the rules. If you say no, you're chaotic. Same for all of them, hopefully. Good questions. Would you refuse a bribe if you knew you would not be caught if you took it? If you say yes, I would refuse, then you're good. If you say no, then you're evil. Then there's a field for responses to each set of questions. Those are empty at first, but as you go through, it saves yes or no into each one. And then at the end, it's going to count how many yeses and how many nos there are. It doesn't do that yet, but this is where those counts will go, those tallies. Right now, it should just cycle through the questions and record when you say yes or no. And after that, it pretty much doesn't do anything. When you're done, it should spit out some things into the console here, and then the page will just say cool dude. So it does not actually calculate your alignment right now. It will always say cool dude, but we can see what's getting outputted. So I'm going to go ahead and press run, and let me just say yes to the first 5. And that's if I'm chaotic or lawful. And then I'll say no to the next 5. And it says cool dude. Alright. And then in the console I see my first set of questions says all yeses and my last set of questions says all nos. Alright, so that's good. So when this function runs, it just outputs my data from my responses, and it says cool dude. So this is where I'm going to put my code that matches this algorithm. I'm going to do each of these twice, basically. And basically what I want to do is count how many no's are in each one, and then put the right word to it, depending on how many times I said no to a question. So let's get started. So I want to cycle through all of the chaotic questions, and if it says no, I'm going to increase the tally, and if it says yes, I'm going to not increase the tally, which you can see in that code example here. So start with the first item in the list. Is it a no? Increase tally by 1. Go to the next item. Is it a no? If it's not a no, is it the last item? No. So go to the next item and try it again. Once you go through and you counted how many no's you have, then it ends. We're going to do this for the chaotic questions and keep a tally. We're going to do this for the good questions and keep a tally, so there'll be 2 tallies. And then for each of those tallies, we're going to say, is it more than the 2/3 threshold? Then it should be lawful. If it's not, is it more than the 1/3 threshold? Then it's neutral. If it's in the bottom, if it's less than 1/3, then it's chaotic. Then we'll do that for the good. Are you above 2/3? Then you're good. If you're at the bottom third, you're evil. If you're in the middle, you're neutral. So here were those little examples. So they start as 0. That's already good. So I'm just going to use a for each loop. In JavaScript, you don't actually type the each, but otherwise it's pretty close to what I have here. So for every question in the chaotic questions, if it's a no, make the tally go up by 1. That's what plus plus means. And it's going to do that for every question. And then for the good questions, go through every question. If it's a no response, increase the tally by 1, only if it's a no. That way we know how many times you've answered no to each set of 5 questions. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright, so I'm going to take out these, well, maybe I'll leave that here. I'm going to delete the cool dude. Well, I'll just come in between and I'll change the cool dude later. So I'm going to say let alignment equal empty string. We'll come back and figure that out later. So let's say for, then I want to go through everything in the chaotic questions. Let Q for question of chaotic responses, and then I'll press enter, make a curly bracket, and press enter again. So for every question of the chaotic responses, if Q equals no, I need an if, don't I? If Q equals no, I'm going to say chaotic tally plus plus. And that will count. That's it. That's all I gotta do to count how many no's I have. Once that for loop completes, down here, I will have a full tally. Chaotic tally should be however many no's I have. I'm going to do that exact same thing for the good questions. For queue of good questions, I'm sorry, good responses. Curly, enter curly. I'm sorry, enter curly, enter. If the question response is no, we'll say good tally plus plus. So after that, I've got my 2 tallies. So now I just need to figure out what my alignment is. So I'm going to say let 1/3 equal chaotic questions dot length. That tells me how many questions there are, divided by 3. So 1/3 is the number of questions divided by 3. If chaotic tally is greater than 2 times that value, then we will say alignment plus equals lawful. Else, if chaotic tally is greater than 1 times that value, or just 1/3, we'll say alignment plus equals neutral, and then else, in any other circumstance, alignment plus equals chaotic. I'm going to put a space here. Oh no, I think that's fine. Alright, so now I've done this. So if set 1/3 to the number of questions divided by 3, this should be 2/3. If tally is greater than 2/3, 2 times that, it's lawful, and finish. Else, if tally is greater than 1/3, it's neutral, finish. Else, then you're down here, you have nothing left to check, you already know where you're at, you're chaotic, and finish. So that's what we just did. Alright, so now we're going to say same thing. I've already declared 1/3, so let 1/3 be this. Now the computer already has a space in memory for 1/3. I don't have to say that again, so I'm just going to write over it. Now it just so happens that they're both 5 questions, so it doesn't matter, but just in case they're not, I'm going to do this anyway. 1/3 is equal to good questions dot length divided by 3. If good tally is greater than 2 times 1/3, then the alignment will say plus equals. Now this will attach a word to the end of my alignment. So my alignment right now is either lawful, neutral, or chaotic, depending on the previous questions. I want to put a space in front so that if it's lawful good, I'm going to say, or lawful evil, I'm going to press space here so that there's a space in between them. I think this is evil. Let's see, if I say no that many times, I think it's evil. Is that right? Let me read the question. Would you refuse a bribe? If I say no, then I would take it, so I'd be evil. So yeah, okay. So if I got a lot of no's, I'm evil. Else, if good tally is greater than 1/3, then alignment plus equals, well then you're in the middle. So we're actually going to do something different here. if you're in the middle, we got to check, so I'll come back to that. Else, if you're not in the middle third, then you must be in the bottom third. So alignment plus equals good, but I'm going to put that space there, like that. The reason I didn't put anything here is because we have that situation here, where if you're neutral, you want to make sure you're not neutral. You know, lawful neutral's okay, chaotic neutral's okay, but neutral's dumb sounding. So if the first word is already neutral and you know the second word's going to be neutral, check the first word. If it is also neutral, then don't add neutral to it. Replace the whole thing, that's why it's green here, with true neutral. So get rid of the first word and make it true neutral. Otherwise, do what you'd normally do and just add neutral to the end. So chaotic neutral, lawful neutral, whatever. So in here, I need to do one more if check. If, oops, all caps here. If alignment is neutral, then we're going to say, rewrite it, alignment is now equal to true neutral. Else, we're just going to say, add to the alignment the word neutral with a space in front. And that should do it. Once we're done, then we're just going to say document write. Instead of cool dude, we're going to say alignment. And let's see how we do. So let's run it. Assign says, so I'm going to say, say yes to all my first questions. So yes, 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 yes. So I'm always lawful. I should be. But I'll be evil here. So would I refuse a bribe? No. Would I help? No. Do I have friends? No. Would I do the right thing? No. Do I give to people generously? No. Alright, so I'm chaotic evil. I might have that backwards because I feel like I should have been lawful. Let me try that again. Do you obey the sign? Yes. Do you receive a fine? Do you pay it? Yes. So the yeses should be lawful. Whoops. Okay, so I'm going to flip lawful and chaotic here because I'm got that backwards. And that should work. Alright, so that is your, I think you can go back. Yes, back. No, 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 no. No. Yes, 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 yes. So chaotic good. Pretty nice. Let's see, let's try neutral. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. True neutral. There we go. Alright, so this is an alignment quiz. You probably don't follow the buttons and stuff and how that works. But the questions are just text. We're keeping track of what number we're on with the question here. It displays the correct question depending on what question you're on. But at the end, we have a list of yeses and nos. And all we do is count the number of nos and figure out the word with these if, else branches. And we pick one of those three, then we pick one of those three. And that's it. We just write it to the screen. So I hope that made a little bit of sense to you. That's our first guided project. Once you complete this, you can just click, God, what do I do? Click, click, no. To share the code with me, especially if you have trouble, you can go to invite, and you can invite me by email, or you can generate a join link and I can join your project and help you. We can even work at the same time. that's probably a good way to turn it in. Otherwise, if you just want to see the project by itself, this is the link right here. It won't give you the editor, but you can see it without being able to edit it. Or you can press this little button here, open a new tab. It'll open it like it's a standalone web page. There you go. So you can send me that link. What I would say is just change the questions however you want. If you don't want to say true, neutral, or you could just run it like it is and then change it so that these are characters' names, like I don't know, Boba Fett, Darth Vader, whatever you want. If you have any questions, just ask me. I can help. I hope that kind of makes some sense. You know, we're not covering everything in this project, just this little algorithm here. So I hope you followed that, and I'll see you guys later.